We've all seen a great plan on paper, right? A perfect blueprint. But how does that plan actually become something real, something tangible? Well, today we're diving into the develop phase. This is the hands-on stage, where those brilliant designs get forged into actual effective learning tools. Let's get into it. So, imagine this. You've done all your analysis, you've meticulously designed a blueprint for learning. It's perfect. But that brings up the big question, doesn't it? How do you take that plan and actually build the thing? That's exactly the problem the develop phase is here to solve.
To put it really simply, the develop phase is the construction stage. If the design phase was about the architect drawing up the blueprints, this phase is where the construction crew shows up on site with their hard hats and tools. Every single piece of learning material gets built right here, from the ground up.
So let's really dig into this central theme, which is all about that incredible journey from a blueprint to a finished reality. This is the doing phase. It's all about action. It's the physical or digital creation of everything the learner is going to see, hear, and interact with. We're talking less theory, way more production. It's all about just getting it made. All right, so where does all this production even start? Well, it begins with the most fundamental part of the whole thing, crafting the core content itself.
And that crafting process usually involves a really critical partnership. Think of it like a dynamic duo. On one side, you've got your subject matter expert, the SME. Their job is to make sure every single fact is spot on and accurate. And on the other side, you've got the instructional designer, who's focused on making all that correct information clear, understandable, and actually engaging for the learner. It's this teamwork that guarantees quality from every possible angle.
And what comes out of this collaboration? A whole toolkit of learning materials. We're talking about everything from the slide decks and presentations to cool videos and graphics that bring concepts to life. You might even build interactive simulations where people can practice new skills. And of course, you'll create helpful job aids and guides, and the assessments to check if everyone's getting it. But here's the thing. You don't just build all that cool stuff and assume it's perfect. No way. Before you go into full production, you absolutely need an all-important test run. And this is so crucial. The point of prototyping isn't about finding flaws or pointing fingers. It's about finding opportunities for improvement. You get your materials in front of a few real users early on, and you get this priceless feedback. They'll tell you exactly what's confusing, or what could be a little clearer. And that lets you fix it before you've invested all that time and money in a full-scale rollout. Okay, so once you've gathered that amazing feedback and tweaked your materials, it is time for the final quality checkpoint. This is where everything gets that last professional polish. And I love this quote because it really captures the mindset here. You don't start with a perfect product. You get there through a really careful process of review and revision. And this is where a formal quality assurance process, or QA, becomes your best friend. So this QA process is usually guided by a checklist. First up, instructional alignment. Basically, does this thing we built actually teach what we said it would teach? Then, technical accuracy. Is all the information still correct and up to date? Super important is accessibility. Can everyone use these materials, including people with disabilities? And finally, usability. Is it actually easy and intuitive to navigate, or is it kind of frustrating? Nailing every one of these checks is absolutely vital. And after passing through content creation, that prototyping test run, and the rigorous quality check, your learning materials are finally, officially ready for launch. And this right here is the ultimate outcome, the big win of a successful develop phase. You have a complete set of learning materials that have been thoroughly tested, revised with real feedback, and officially approved. They are ready to be delivered to your learners. So if you really boil it down, this entire journey is 4 key steps. First, you create the content. Then you test it with real users, you refine it based on what they tell you, and finally, you approve it for delivery. Create, test, refine, approve. Simple as that. So everything is built, it's polished, and it's sitting on the launch pad, ready to go. But what happens next? What happens when these perfectly developed materials actually meet the learners out there in the real world? Well, we're going to explore exactly that in our next explainer when we dive headfirst into the implement phase. See you then!